Hey, I just thought we would sneak in a little bit of hangout for anybody out there. Let's see if anybody's around and wants to hang out, and I'll be back right after this. Group, it's okay if he struggles. And we got a big game against the Eagles, and maybe you need some energy, so wake up! We have every right. A 115 team takes a running back. You just took your franchise quarterback. You had a running back. And I'd be pissed if I was a Jacksonville fan. I love that talking about Green Bay. He'll never find out. Believe me, nobody knows better what it looks like when an organization is about to go to shit than a New York Jet fan. And Justin Fields proved that he can hold it together. He can regroup. It's okay if he struggles. And we got a big game against the Eagles, and maybe you need some energy, so wake up! We have every right to expect the Jets to win. Rich Cimini, schmuck, putz. All right, and there you have it. My intro, which I'm so proud of, which I played half of with no sound, so I had to play it over again. What's going on, Owen? I don't know if you were on Green Bean Stream tonight, but great show. We had Joe Blewett on the show. Frankie and Adam Y2K99 with his crazy trivia. It was a good time, and I've settled down from that, and I decided I'm bored, man. Before I go to sleep, because I'm in California, it's still early here, and oh, you were there. Good. Hope you liked it. I just figured we'd just mess around and hang out, see who was around. Because it's easy to do that. You just I just go live. But Joe Blewett was cool, man. That guy knows. I mean, he's just like super confident. He just says he can answer your question in like 5 seconds. Knows about any subject. You can't stump him. You talk about any position, he'll start naming guys. It's pretty cool. So you're on the East Coast. You just stay up late. You must be younger than me, man. You must be younger because I can't do that anymore. It's 11, right? East Coast, it's 11. Yeah. So, I mean, where are you? Are you in New York? New York, my hometown of Brooklyn, which if I was there right now, where would I go if I was in Brooklyn right now? Well, of course, the obvious answer is I get onto the Belt Parkway, I get up on Shell Road, and I would go to L&B Spumoni Gardens. I get 2 squares. I get 1 round slice, even though people think I'm nuts, but their round pizza is really good too, and I love round pizza. But I get 2 squares, round pizza, big Coke, big Coca-Cola, and then I go back for a nice big thing of Spumoni. Yeah, it was great. No, it was amazing. Can't wait for getting deeper into the film with those guys. Yeah, I love when he gets deep into the film. I'm telling you. I wish I would have I wish he was there 20 years ago. I wish YouTube was around 20 years ago. Because like I'm jealous of you, man, because you're going to get to learn at such a younger age than what, I'm seeing it now for the first time. I've been watching for 40 years and I never had someone take me into like that, the technical parts like that, like, like Joe Blewett does. It's really good stuff. And Play Like a Jet's good too. He's pretty entertaining. He doesn't get too technical. Like he'll just show you, watch this play and watch what he does, watch the move, and I mean, and it's good. Luke Grant knows what he's doing, and he has more of a swing of entertainment to it. Whereas with Joe, it's got to be about learning. It's like going to school. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's not entertaining. I'm saying it's only entertaining if you really want to learn. Like if you really want to break it down and start understanding what makes a running back good and what he's seeing in a running back to decide that they're good. I think that he's just like the number one guy right now that I found. Like what the analysis he did with Michael Carter last year was just incredible. It was like now I watch running backs and when they play back slow motion plays, I watch where the blockers are and what the running back decided to do in each moment. Just incredible stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of prospect. We're gonna have to do some of our own diving too, because I don't know how many he spends so much time on each one. Um, that I don't know if we're gonna be able to he's gonna be able to cover them all. He'll definitely cover every pick we make. So after the draft, Joe Blewett will go through every pick. And I'm telling you, he's gonna get you so excited. And if he doesn't like a pick, like with a certain player, he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you what the negatives are. He's not going to hold back. Like if he sees things he doesn't like, he says it straight up. He goes, "I don't like that," and we just got to hope that the things he doesn't like, you're always hoping that they're things that um, coaches can coach players out of. So that's kind of what you're hoping, right? You're hoping it's not like with a running back picking it the way they pop into a hole. To me, I think that's instincts. Like, I don't think that's that. I'm not confident if you're not liking a running back's decision when they're running into the line and they're kind of making that move. Um, I don't, to me, it's very rare that you can coach somebody out of that compared to because there are certain parts of the game that are just instinctual, right? And it's like certain running backs, they're just doesn't matter who their coach is, even right. They're just bound for greatness. They're going to be great no matter what you do with them because there's this instinct. And it's quarterbacks is a little different because they do need the coaches to teach them. They have to understand how to read defenses. They have to that you can't just be. You could be naturally great with your friends growing up. You play flag football, two-hand touch, you play tackle. Your friends go out for a pass. You do this, you do that. They're open. You throw a beautiful pass. But quarterback, you need coaches when you get to college, then the NFL particularly, because now you're talking about the greatest athletes in the world. They will cat and mouse you, they will bait you, they will stand, the safeties will trick you, the linebackers will trick you. So you need those coaches, but you can't teach slowing the game down. Like we never know if a quarterback is going to be able to slow the game down. So we just got to hope the things when we pick our guys, we got to hope the things that Joe points out, the things that play like a points out, or that we notice ourselves, have to be things that we decide that can be coached, right? Certain things can be coached, like he's running the wrong route there. Certain decision making that could be coached. Like when Zach earlier wasn't taking the easier play and dumping the ball off, and he was going for the deepest play every time. That was something that was coachable, and you saw that. You saw as the season went on, he took the safer plays. He took what the defense was giving him, and when he got into a rhythm, that's when he would take the deep shots. So there are things you can coach and things you can't coach. The escapability of Zach Wilson, like the run against Jacksonville, that's not coachable, right? That's just an ability he has. There's no coaching to that. That's just our quarterback. Like we have a quarterback that's just has that is just excels in escapability. So that's pretty exciting. So there's certain things you can coach and certain things you can't coach. So that's what we're looking for when we watch Joe Blewett do the tape. Like, and that's what he'll say about Bryce Hall. Like he says they're like, he can get better and he can develop and he can be really good for who he is, but there's certain athletic characteristics that are going to prevent him from ever shutting down a premier receiver. Now, no one could be 100% right about that. I mean, and it's possible that he could be a shutdown corner. But I think that the reality is like at some point we're going to try to get a shutdown corner in Bryce Hall or a Bryce Hall type guy and have two really good guys, or we have such an incredible pass rush it doesn't matter that that you get a Bryce Hall and an Eccles and they're fine because we're getting so much pressure on the quarterback. But you'd rather have like either two Bryce Hall type players or Eccles gets as good as Bryce Hall, or we get a shutdown corner and Bryce Hall's your number 2 and Eccles your number 3. But these are the kind of things that we learn from Joe Blewett, right? So I keep my expectation. Like I'm really think that Bryce Hall is getting the best out of his ability. Like we should love and appreciate him for that. Because he's a guy, he's like a Wayne Corbett type guy, or one of those kind of guys who gets the most out of what they're given. That's Bryce Hall. He has a great attitude. So he could be a very good player intellectually. and learn really how to read plays, and he could be really good. But I think what Joe was saying, and it's hard for me to argue because he watches so much tape, is there's an athletic limitation to how good he could be, and there are going to be issues with that. But against premier receivers, but guess what? 95% of the cornerbacks in the league, or 90% or over 90%, struggle against premier receivers, right? There's only a couple of cornerbacks usually in the NFL at a time that could slow down, like a Cooper Kupp. Did anybody slow down Cooper Kupp this year? I mean, so there's that too. So we have to be realistic. But look, if we get pass pressure, I think that Bryce Hall's a perfect person for our defense as long as he's pressuring the quarterback. I mean, as long as we're pressuring the quarterback, he's fine. So, yeah, I mean, so that's why you have to decide, what do you want to build now? I agree. This is our moment to build things and to get things going. I don't understand people want to go for big price free agents that are going to be 31 by the time we're ready to win and contend for a Super Bowl. It's like, doesn't make sense to me. I think you pick up the big name guys as the final piece, right? You have the puzzle, you're missing that piece. That's when you bring in the big name. That's when you go for it and say, this is the guy that's going to put us over the edge for the Super Bowl. But you don't bring in a guy like that until you got the team. So you got a deep roster. I mean, I love Bryce Hall. Just needs to develop a ball hawk. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, Michael Carter probably has the highest ceiling in our secondary for the position he plays. I say that because he was, and people will say different things, top 3, top 4, top 5, top 10. It doesn't even matter. If he was even if you were conservative and said he was a top 10 slot corner, his rookie year, like, oh my God, rookie year, dude. I mean, think about how good he's going to be just down the road. Just think about how good he's going to be when he learns and develops. I don't know. I mean, it's very rare. You have to think really hard. It's very rare that a player gets worse, right? It happens with certain players. It happened with Carl Wentz, a quarterback. Like, I mean, it happens, but it's very rare. In most cases, players get better. In almost every case, not only do they get better their second year, and then it's year 3 or 4 that they actually explode. Year 3 might be a big breakthrough year where they do some really good things, and then 4, 5, 6 is when they become top of the league in their position. If they're going to be that, that's when they prime. So think about Michael Carter the second and where he is. He's a rookie. So imagine him taking another step next year. Now there's no argument. That puts him in the top 5, top 3, right? That makes us one of the strongest teams in that position. And then what happens year 3, 4 when he has his real breakdown, when his breakthrough, where he goes into that prime area of where he's starting to combine his youth and athleticism with experience and knowledge. Then you're talking potential number 1 in his position in the NFL, or number 2 if somebody comes along that's just too special, like a generational person. But that's fine. Can you imagine having a top 2 slot corner? I mean, that's check that box, right? Guidry has great depth, because Guidry as a starting slot corner, like if he was our guy and we didn't have Eccles, is not the worst in the NFL, right? I mean, he's actually does some good things, and he makes mistakes, and he's young, undrafted free agent. He's super young. He hasn't primed. So to have him as a backup is pretty good. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that part of our secondary. I'm excited that Bryce Hall, at worst, is an excellent CB2, or a reasonable CB1, not the worst in the league, right? Like, certainly not. People would argue that he's really good. So I'm excited about Bryce Hall just being a Jet, and I think I would be excited if we can get the level of play, if he goes on this progression of improvement and he's our CB2 because somehow we end up locking down like a shutdown corner. That's exciting stuff. Super excited. If Carl Lawson comes back strong and we get another edge and we're pressuring the quarterback, I want to look like the Niners, man. I want to be a team, except with a better secondary. I want to be the Niners with a better secondary. How great would that be? Getting sacks, not just 1 or 2 games out of the year, but every week, no matter who we play, even if we play quality offenses, right? Quality teams that were getting sacks, that were pressuring the quarterback. And then you put in that's when Bryce Hall will get interceptions. That's when, Eccles or whoever's playing, that's when you'll see more interceptions. When we're getting pressure on the quarterback and forcing them to take chances and throw the ball where they don't want to throw it. So what is my ideal draft? My ideal draft is getting Thibodeau. First and foremost. Let's see, a better question. Who do you think Houston will go for? Me too. I don't know, because they're getting a new coach, who I don't know is good. People were so fast to say, "Oh, the rookie's playing good. They're going to go with the rookie." That's just all speculation. I don't know about him, Davis Mills. I don't know. I don't know if this is the time that you have an opportunity. It's not a strong year for a draft. I mean, some people are rating or ranking Evan Neal number 1. So it's hard to know. I just know that my ideal draft would be Thibodeau slips down to us at number 4, or Hutchinson, but I'd rather have Thibodeau. Even though I love Hutchinson and I think he has a higher ceiling. Yeah, we definitely haven't seen enough of him, especially in games that matter. So I think Thibodeau, like Hutchinson, might have a higher ceiling. Actually, I'm not sure, but I think Thibodeau is a more all around, doesn't like as much chance to bust or be average as Hutchinson might. Hutchinson is very powerful and fast and explosive. He doesn't have the bend. He doesn't have that thing, that spin or that bend. He doesn't have that kind of move that the great pass rushers have. At least not that I see at that elite level. Whereas Thibodeau does. Like, I think Thibodeau is that kind of guy. And I also think Thibodeau is more, could be more of like a run defender also, like big, running yards behind the line of scrimmage kind of thing. Now, look, a part of me would love like Hamilton as well, because like we were talking about on Green Bean Show, what they were talking about, what Joe was saying, I completely agree. If he's going to be a generational safety, you don't care about the position. If he's generational, it doesn't matter about the position. If you're blue chip, if you're all pro every year, Hall of Fame type material, that's the kind of, I don't care that he's a safety, especially in our system where he'll play. If Hamilton was a Jet, it might literally be that he would switch to linebacker, or he'd be a safety that plays in the box a lot like a linebacker. So, I mean, I'd have no problem with that. But ideal draft, Thibodeau. Hamilton slips down to 10. If Hamilton doesn't slip down to 10, ideal would we trade down to like 17 and get great value. Get like a second round pick, a 4th round pick, and their next year's 2nd round pick. So like get some really great draft capital, add a couple of picks to this draft, and still be able to grab like Nakobe Dean. Right. So that would be ideal for me, because then you get Thibodeau and Dean. We have a completely different defense, especially Thibodeau and Hamilton, Thibodeau and Dean. It doesn't matter. Our defense completely flips. It is a different defense, especially with Carl Lawson coming back. Everything is different. Everything. And don't forget, all of those other position players, guys like Eccles, they're going to get better. Eccles will be a better corner next year. He just will, because that's what every player, especially cornerback, is better their second year than they were their first. And they keep getting better. So if you imagine Eccles as better, learning lessons, learning from his mistakes, and better, you're talking about a very, very functional CB2, unless we draft somebody or get somebody that pushes him down to just be depth, which is fine. Depth doesn't mean he just sits there on the sideline the whole game and only comes in if there's an injury, right? There are times that we bring in certain packages, right? Like we go into a 4-2-5 or something. There are packages where you'll see him on the field. So but to me, it just changes the whole defense. You get a guy like Dean, CJ doesn't have to run sideline to sideline and make every play. Now you have this young buck in there that just runs through people and lights people up. Now you got CJ being able to divide the field a little bit. And now, I mean, that's going to help. And then you add Hamilton, like, for example, if you added Hamilton to that, you're talking about now on the screen, right? Now you got a safety who's fast, react, great in pass coverage. You got, well, we wouldn't have Dean and Hamilton, so I'm not making any sense. But if you had Thibodeaux, now you got Thibodeaux and Lawson back. You're pressuring the quarterback, and now if you over pursue and they do the screen pass, now you have Nakobe Dean, which is going to make CJ better because now you have more coverage back there and inside there. And if we did that, if we went, by the way, if we did linebacker and that, also remember we will pick up a safety in the draft too. We're going to improve at safety too. So it's a different defense. And the real thing to hope for is that we stay healthy. And that's, and if they take Neal, I live with that too, dude. Because Neal's a generational type player, and Neal plays guard and tackle, which I love. I love that you could take Neal and stick him at guard, and then when Fent is done, if he gets, like even for 2 years, and then we can't hold on to him, he gets older or whatever, he's losing his skills, we can move Neal there. And if Becton, I don't believe this, I think Becton is going to be great for us, but if it's a problem, if the weight thing, if there's not his guy, if it doesn't work out with Becton, if the worst case scenario happens, then you got that insurance policy. You got Fent and you got Neal, and they could both play tackle, right? Now we just got to worry about guard alongside AVT, like who's going to be on the other side. So it's a great insurance policy. So I'm not going to argue that pick. If they took Neal, it's not what I'm calling ideal, but I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain even if they take Linderbaum. I know a lot of people might get mad at that, and some people will love it. I'm not going to say that it's my ideal thing, but I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to be upset. Because at the end of the day, if we took Linderbaum, we're going to have an all-pro center. He's almost a can't-miss prospect. I mean, it's like these guys are going to make our team better. And then you'll start thinking about, McGovern could move to guard. What are the possibilities? I mean, if you watch his tape, like, he's a beast. He just, I mean, like so much of a step up over McGovern. So much of a step up. Like, he pushes people backwards. He pancakes them. That opens up huge holes. So none of that is going to upset me. I'm excited. I'm excited because there's very little he could do that upset me unless he traded back both picks so far that we got no blue chip players. That pissed me off. Like, I think that we better walk out with at least one generational, high impact player. What's up? I'm having a beer, watching cricket, and listening in. Get better than that. Yeah. Bismo, that's awesome, man. I love that you're watching cricket. I want to try to say it like you. Cricket. I'm watching cricket. I can't do it. But that's great that you're watching cricket. I always wanted to learn more about that. When I grew up in Brooklyn, there was a local park where there was a lot of guys from like Jamaica and India. Brooklyn's such a diverse place. So there was this one park where they'd play cricket. And I could watch them for hours trying to figure it out, what's going on. It was cool stuff. Sam Dobson, I don't know you very well. Hey man, who do you think the prospect Ice Wallow comes? Hold it. He-Man, what do you think of the prospect Ice Wallow? He's a Chinese who's linked to go and join up in New York. I don't really understand the question. If there's a prospect that happens to be Chinese, I don't know. You got to give me the name and I'll look him up and see if he's any good. I definitely think Fant is a long-term solution. I don't like our center guard either. Yeah. I mean, McGovern, like, I know the numbers like look good and he's not horrible, but like he definitely doesn't push people backwards, right? He's not making our run game great. You saw the difference when GVR came out and LDT came out, like it completely changed our running game. So that's why I'm not going to cry and complain, right? I mean, if McGovern's a little better at right guard or competes with LVT, and then you get a Linderbaum at center, do you realize what that's going to do to our running game? Like, imagine Becton healthy, George Fant, Lindenbaum, AVT, and then a competitiveness of right guard between McGovern and LVT. I mean, you can't, I mean, that's great. That's great stuff, dude. I mean, and as soon as you get that running game going, we all saw the difference it made for Zach. When we were running the ball well, um, Zach was so much better. Every quarterback is, because it just forces the other team to put more men in the box. It relaxes your quarterback because it takes the weight off their shoulders, and it creates better situations like 3rd and 2, second and 3, 2nd and 4, instead of 2nd and 11, 2nd and 8, and then to 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 8. You know what I mean? Like, we get into better situations where people don't understand the difference between 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 8. Like, it's a huge difference because it opens up. There's such a difference in the calls you can make offensively. Like, so the amount of options that you have as an offense when it's 3rd and 2 is so much bigger than your options at 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 10. Like, as you add each yard, you get less and less options to get the first down, less choices, and it makes it easier for the defense to defend. Well, it's always important, hard to pass on good players. I know, no matter what we do, you know, good try with the it's good try with the sauce. Are you trying to say? No matter what you do, um, it's no matter what you do, it's I'm forgetting what I was gonna say. It's always hard, even when you have two picks. It's always hard because no matter who we pick, we're letting guys that we really want that could help the team. Right? There's no way that we're gonna feel like amazing. Like there's always gonna be that sense of regret. Like, oh, we could have had Neil. Even Green. Oh, we could have had Green. He's a ridiculous guard. Oh my God, we could have had a Lavi, a wide receiver. Or if we don't get Burks, we could have had Burks. Like, there's always going to be pain. Obviously, we all wish we had 5 picks, right? We could take them all. We could take Tyler Linderbaum, Hamilton, Thibodeau, Dean, Burks. I mean, it would be amazing. I see my good friend, the mailman, is here. Yeah. I know you agree with me, Owen. That's why we see eye to eye. See, it doesn't matter that I'm old enough to be a father. It doesn't mean we can't agree on certain things. I like good music too. What's up, my friends? Pure Adrenaline, Fantasy Sports, John Post. I just got bored, so I came back in. Had fun with Green Bean, but I wasn't in there long enough. And as I'm in quarantine, not because I have COVID, but because I have to make sure my wife doesn't get COVID, and I'm so exposed every day at work. I am bored up here, man. So I go on and I figure, let's just go on and do a hangout. I haven't done that lately. I'm probably going to do a draft tomorrow, do a mock draft tomorrow. There's nothing ever going on Fridays. So that'll mean I'm on every day. Like like Wednesday, I did the hot sauce thing. Today, then I'm going to tomorrow do a mock draft. And then Saturday, if you look at the channel, it's already up there and posted. Saturday, me and my brother will be doing the watch party for the Bills Patriots. We thought that would be a fun game to cover because we hate the Bills and the Patriots. So it's going to be fun to just root against both teams. I think it's an interesting game. The two teams have played each other, it feels like twice in the past 5 weeks or so. It felt very close together, and now they're playing again a third time. When it was the Win Bowl or whatever, the New England won, I think, because of coaching. When the conditions weren't compromised like that, it was more straight up talent. I think Buffalo stepped up and won. So we'll have to see what the weather's like in Buffalo. And we'll have to see, Buffalo got some experience last year in the playoffs. So it's not like they're going in and it's like first time in the playoffs. They're not going to be able to handle the pressure. I don't think we have to worry about that. I'm hoping it's a really good game. And, it's, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Nice. Sean and I joined Peo tonight on his channel. I'm so jealous, dude. I didn't even see that Peo was on, but that makes me pretty jealous. I want to be on Peo's show. I know Peo's going to join me for a draft, but we haven't discussed me being on his show. I hope that happens someday. I would love to be on Peo's show. Just throwing that out there. But no, we're going to do that Rams draft together when the Rams are done, and I'm excited about that for sure. But yeah, That's cool, man. I'll check out the replay of that. I want to see you and Sean on Peo's channel. Oh, I'm not going to see Sean for a while, huh? Because the season's over. So you'll have to tell me about that. Like I'm a little like I'm not going to see Sean already. You know, it's I like having a Viking person like around talking, and giving perspective, especially after their coach got fired, right? I think they got rid of their GM too. So what's this? 14 to 18? The hell does that mean? Oh, maybe you're answering a question. If neither Tim or Hutch fall to us, I would take OL and trade down from 10 if a deal was there. How far would you be happy to fall back from 10? Yeah, I agree. 14 to 18 because I want Nakobe Dean. And I think even though he's around in the 20s in the PFN, I don't trust that. Like I think in real life, I think somebody's going to want linebacker. And I'm not sure, even though everybody has Lloyd ranked higher than Dean, I'm not so sure. Like I have to watch more tape on him. I think there's a strong possibility that Nakobe Dean is the number one linebacker picked in the draft. So we have to, I would like to try to make sure that we get him. And then at the very least, if he's not there, then at least we get Lloyd. You know what I mean? And if the sky fell and those two went, then you take Sauce Gardner. But like everybody says, what if he goes early? Then other people had to have slipped, right? Like that's what everybody keeps saying to me. Oh, if you go into the 20s to get the Kobe team, what if Burks and Dean and what if they're all gone? Well, if all those guys are gone, then who slipped? Right? Because somebody has to have slipped from all our mock drafts. If the Kobe team doesn't go 23rd anymore and goes 17, who slipped? That's what you have to ask yourself. Because one of the strengths of having a lot of holes and needs is it's hard to totally screw up. Because if we trade back to 18 and the guy we wanted is gone, as far as like if it was Nakobe Dean, for example, Lindenbaum might be there. Treylon Burks might be there. Maybe it's Olave that we like. Maybe it's Lloyd that we like. Maybe it's Sauce Gardner that we like. The point is we need all those positions. Like we become a better team with all those positions. And those are all potential blue chip players, right? Like key players to help our franchise. So I don't mind trading down. It's what we get. Like 10 to 18, think about what the Giants got. What if Chicago came down for like 20 to 10 or 11, wherever the Giants were. And the Giants got, I think, a pick that year from them right away, and they're number one for next year. So I would want to pick like third round, something like that, 60-something, 65th pick or whatever it was. I want some other pick because we have a lot of holes to fill. So I would love to get another pick this year. And I want a number one if we can get it. The problem is we have to get lucky and be the team that a team is trading. Usually a team is only going to give you their number one for the next year. Usually if it's for a quarterback or if they're like in love with George something, right? They want an edge or like it's going to have to be a team that's in love with someone. Like Chicago gave up their first round pick because in their mind, and they might be right, Justin Fields is their future, right? And if Justin Fields becomes a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, it becomes an elite quarterback, you couldn't care less about next year's number one. I mean, you could a little, but you're never going to care. Like you're never going to be angry about it. Right. So it's more when we trade down, if we trade down from 10, the issue or the problem or the challenge is there has to be someone there that somebody would want to give a lot of capital away to move up. Right? So that's the key. And sometimes you have to go a little higher, like to 22, 23, to get a decent team that's in that kind of luxury spot. They're a team that believes if I move up to 10, I can get that guy Green on my offensive line, or I can get Hamilton, or I can get Lindenbaum, or there has to be someone that they specifically love. That they think that's why it'll be hard to get it with like a 17 or an 18 team, although the Eagles are a good possibility, right? Because the Eagles could trade down and they have a lot to offer us. I mean, I don't think the Eagles would give us 17 and 19 for 10. That's not happening. They would do that for 4, but they might give us like we trade down with the Eagles to 17 or 19, they might give us like a second round this year and a second round next year. Like they might do something like that. That might tempt us. Possibly. We'll have to see. I mean, we'll never know. We'll never know what's being said to the phone on, to Joe Douglas. That's the thing. We'll never know. We'll only know if he trades, if we like the trade or not. And people might be mad. Oh, he didn't trade down. What an idiot. Why is he using the 10 pick? We could have traded down and gotten the same player. Understand, we don't know what's going on over the phone. We just don't know. If he wants a guy, let's just pick Nakobe Dean. Let's say that's the guy that JD's in love with. Let's just pretend that we know that. He gets the phone call and somebody wants him to go down to 18, and they're not offering enough for him to say, am I willing to lose this guy that I love? Like, you're really going to have to pay me out to get me to go, like, to get me to drop back and risk losing my guy. Yeah, and we don't know how anybody feels about anybody, right? They might love Jermaine Johnson. Is that his name? I think. I mean, he's a guy that's up there. I mean, there's these other edge rushers that we're automatically writing off that they might love. They might be completely in love with those guys. So we don't know 100%. I know that Hutchinson and Thibodeau, if that's how we start our draft, if one of those guys slips to us and we grab one of those guys, I know that I'm feeling good about day one. It would be really hard for JT to do anything with that 10 pick that would totally deflate me and make me feel horrible. I might be a little disappointed. Some people might be pissed. We should have taken a wide receiver. We should have gotten more draft capital, whatever it is. But me, if I'm going to sleep that night, I think it's a Thursday night, and we have Thibodeau and Hutchinson secured, I'm really happy, guys. Because all I'm thinking about is Thibodeau Lawson, or Hutchinson Lawson. And I'm thinking about the possibilities and what that would mean for us defensively. What is it going to take to get you to do a sneaky mock draft? Maybe just for the fourth round. You know what, Bismo? It's not going to take a lot, and I'll tell you why. It's not going to take a lot because of where you are. The fact that you're like on the opposite part of the world, like you're underneath us. I mean, literally, maybe we're the one on the bottom. Who says space has to have a top and a bottom? But the point is, you're on the other side of the planet. And you think I'm going to say no if you're asking me, Jeremy, can we do a mock draft? Again, the only thing I have with these mock drafts that I don't like, and I think it bothers us all, is that we kind of know that it's not like legit. Like, I wish they would update it and be more realistic, because I just don't think that they're being very realistic. But let's do it. Let's do one. Let's sneak one in. But first, let me say hello to V-Man. What is going on? Did you guys see the TPS pathetic mock draft? No. Okay, I'm going to show my age here, and my struggle with acronyms, especially as an educator. I really struggle with acronyms. Can you tell me what you mean by TPS? Like, what am I missing? I know it's obvious, and I'm going to feel stupid, but when you get a chance, just put it in what TPS is, if everybody knows. If anybody knows, just tell me what it is, because I'm sorry, Vin, man. I am an old fart, and I just can't do acronyms anymore. I have too much education acronyms that I don't know. So, mate, love it. It's 3 p.m. Friday where I live, though, so hopefully you're okay with it. I am, man. It's 9 p.m. here. There's no way I'd be able to go to sleep anyway right now, as much as I want to, because I have to wake up at 4:30 a.m. And tomorrow's going to be hell for me at work, because half our staff is out. It's an elementary school, and half my staff is out, including my cafeteria people, which means I have to, again, run the cafeteria while trying to help the school function. We may even have classrooms that don't have teachers and have to put like aides in there or something. So tomorrow's going to be hell, but I have a 3-day weekend coming. So I'll get through it, and I'll do another mock draft tomorrow, and then I'll feel much better because I'll have that 3 days off. Oh, wait a second. Someone's telling me something. YouTube channel, Total Pro Sports. Dude, I've seen some horrible, horrible drafts, man. I mean, taking Stingley with our fourth pick. Like, I mean, that shit just kills me. I'd be, don't get me wrong, there'd be a small little inkling of me that would be maybe exciting. Well, what if, because if Stingley became a Revis, I'll be an idiot for being mad, right? Like if he became a Revis, we'd look back at it and say, why were we mad? But it's not what I'm expecting. So, but I see a lot of people doing that. Anyway, I'm teasing you. Bismo, I'm teasing you. So let me go. Let's do this. I'm just surprised at how many because I thought people would get sick of me doing it, but like you guys seem to love doing the mocks. So you know what I mean? It's like that's why I'm here. Like I'm here to hang out and do what you guys want to do. So they have us taking Stingley. I knew it, right? That's V-Man. Those are the ones I hate. Everyone that has us taking Stingley, those are the ones I hate. I hate those drafts. I despise Walter Football. I'll never go to again. Someone turned me on to them. I read them when I knew nothing, and I thought, oh, this is good. I'm becoming knowledgeable. Then ever since I got into the Jets world, the last year and a half, 18 months, I read Walter Football. Now that I look at prospects and college players, and I think, what are they talking about? They're so wrong on so many teams. They do such stupid things. I don't know about those guys, man. I mean, I hope they don't hear me one day and get upset or offended. But I guess because it was on the internet and someone pointed it out, I thought they were really good. But I'm realizing they're just a couple of schmoes like us, except they don't know about each team as well. Like they obviously don't know the Jets. Because if you look at who they have, one of them had us taking Cross. I mean, and maybe we will take Cross, but it just the combinations and the scenarios don't make sense to me that they say. Sounds full at work, mate. Okay, sounds full at work, mate. Good on you for powering through it. Yeah, that's what I got to do, right? I got to power through it and just the way I do it is I just remind myself. I dive into the moment. The kid's screaming and throwing things. I dive into that moment. I live that moment. Help that kid. Help calm down that kid. Just do my job. The clock ticks. The clock ticks. The day comes to an end, and I got my 3 days off. I mean, tomorrow's going to be hell, but we're going to deal with it. And I can't do anything less than 7 rounds, guys. I got to do 7 rounds. Okay. Because we need to have the full picture. On a chimp on a computer. Okay, I'm going to start, but I'm going to show V-Man's comment. I love that V-Man starts coming in here now. I love that. V-Man, you don't know how much I enjoyed when you went on to Jets 24/7 talk. Like, I don't know if people in the chat appreciated you. You cracked me up. You were awesome. You were so funny. I don't remember if you had tequila, but you were making me laugh, dude. You were cracking me up. I want to get you on this show one day, man. You got to tell me, like, I don't know if you're on Twitter or whatever. Go to Jeremy Cravat 2. Find me on Twitter or go into my comments. Tell me how I can get a hold of you if you want to do a chat if you want to do a draft like this with me. If you want to just hang out like tomorrow night or something and join me because you're a riot, dude. I want to get. I can't believe those guys didn't discover that. I said, Greenbean, you got to get V-Man on your show, dude. He's gold. And then he didn't remember. Bean is so busy and so many. Like, he's like, he was, and I go, don't you remember how funny he was? He was really good. He was like, but anyway, reach out to me and let me know how we can get together. I just want to get you on. I want people to see what I see. Like, you're gold, dude. I want to get you on here and do a mock draft. And that goes for anyone. Bismo, if you ever want to pick a time, like it's in the morning there, like tomorrow night or something. I mean, Saturday night or Sunday night. If you ever want to get together and do something, just reach out to me, dude, because I would love to have you on. I'd love to do a draft with you. I'd love to have people here. So it's all good. Yeah. Hey, V-Man, you don't worry about it. You could just give your opinions or whatever. You were funny just talking and just being you. You just be you. Tell me what you're doing. Like, all you have to do is tell people what you're doing. Like, oh, I'm drinking tequila shots. Like, whatever it is you're doing, you're an interesting guy, and I think people will like it and enjoy it. So let's start the draft. I pick Jets fast, 7 rounds. That's all I do. And I know that you guys can't see, so I'm going to tell you what's going on. So Cleveland, first, let me mention one thing. Thibodeau is still there. Okay. So far Hutchinson's gone. Detroit took Matt Corral, which I just don't see happening. And then Houston took Andrew Booth Jr., which I say would be the worst pick, like maybe in the history of drafts. Like that would be if they took Andrew Booth, I'd be laughing my ass off. And then he'd become a shutdown corner and make me look stupid. Now, here's what's so painful. We can take Thibodeau, we could take Neal, we could take Hamilton. We got three, I mean, just locks. 3 locks. I mean, pick your star. As a matter of fact, Thibodeau is the biggest risk. Evan Neal and Kyle Hamilton are actually safer. But the but Thibodeau is, the need. My God, if he turns out to be a star. So anyway, this is what Cleveland's offering. This is tempting, guys. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. Cleveland is offering their 13th pick, so we trade down to 13, and we'd have 10 and 13. On top of that, we'd have their 44th pick, so that's their second round pick this draft. Next year, we would get their second and their third. I agree. I'm not passing up on a blue chip guy. We have been waiting for an edge too long for me to do that move. I'm not doing that trade. Now, Atlanta wants us to trade down to 8, and they're going to give us 43 and 74. They're going to give us their second and their third. Now, what's interesting about trading down to 8 is one of those 3 guys that we love, Thibodeau, Neal, Hamilton, might still be there. And George the Greek is there, right? So there's some tempting guys right there. There's some tempting guys right there. This is a tempting draft. We have a lot of holes. We have a lot of needs. But I'm still going to go Thibodeau. Did I have you worried? Did you think I was going to turn down Thibodeau and trade? It's painful to turn down this trade. I'm not going to lie. I could do a lot with that 43 and that 74. Man, that 74 could be McBride, even though in real life he's never going to last that long. You probably need to use the 43 on McBride. There's a lot that you could do with that pick. But anyway, I'm going to stop wasting time. You can tell I didn't eat hot sauce, right? Because I'm babbling on. I'm going to take Kayvon Thibodeau. And we got our edge. So now no matter what happens the rest of the day, we could dream about Thibodeau and Lawson together. Okay, man, I'll find you on Twitter and I'll send you the link. And if you can't make it, you can't make it. If you can make it, you can make it. There's no pressure. So I'm just going to send you the link and it's all you. I'll tell you the link and the time and you just click on the link and join me if you can or you want. Let's go to the next one. Dallas 20. There's no way we're going down to 28. I think we all agree with that. Baltimore wants us to go down to 14. That's a dream scenario, I think. Dream offer right there. We only go down 4 spots. We still get a lot of the guys we wanted. I almost promise you one of the 2 linebackers will definitely be there at 14. Ajabo will be there at 14. We're not taking him, though, anyway, because we just took our edge. Anybody who wanted to go wide receiver, Chris Olave might be there, and Jameson Williams is good. He's dropping down to the 2nd and 3rd round. They say he's dropping down to the 2nd round. Guys, he's dropping down to the 3rd round at least. Nobody takes an injured guy who's not going to even play that year. Trust me. I have to take this pick. Okay, we're gonna do this trade. Well, I have to look at the next offer. Pittsburgh wants us to go down to 20, and they'll give us pick 52, a 2nd round, but they won our 108. Screw them. I want to gain picks. So 14 and 45. So it's just a free pick, man. 45, 2nd round pick, mid-2nd round. With this draft, we're going to just add a quality player. And I think we still get the same guy that we want at 14. So I'm taking this pick. I'm going to accept this. I think Joe Douglas would too. So now at 14, Nakobe Dean is way down there still. Denver wants us to go down to 40. There's no way in the world that's going to happen. Okay? So we're just going to ignore that. And Jacksonville wants us to go down to 33. They're offering a ton of stuff. I'm not going to lie. But no, I'm not going to do it. Sorry. I'm going to reject that. We have to get better, guys. We need marquee players, right? We can't take a chance. Now the question is, who do we take? We could take Garrett Wilson from Ohio State if you're somebody who wants to go running back. So, I know that Steve from New York Stock Exchange, he might be screaming at me, Garrett Wilson. I haven't watched a lot of tape on Devin Lloyd, so I might change my mind. But I really am. I'm higher on Nakobe Dean than I am on Devin Lloyd right now because I haven't watched a lot of tape with Devin Lloyd. And the truth is that Nakobe Dean was the best player on defense on the best team in the country. And I know Utah was very good at the end, and Devin Lloyd was a big part of it. I know. I got to watch the tape. Yeah, I would love to. I think that I would have traded with the Steelers if I was going to take Burks. Like that, I think that ship has sailed. If I was going to take Burks, I would have traded with the Steelers. So I did that yesterday with the hot sauce. That's why I was willing to gamble not getting a linebacker in the first round because I knew that Treylon Burks would be there. So that was the whole point of why I did that. But I can't go down that far. I would have taken the trade rather than do that. So that would be, that would look ridiculous. The Kobe Dean could have been gone but with the Steelers pick, or maybe not. But I didn't want to gamble. I just wanted us to feel happy tonight. I know that Bisma wants to see the possibilities, so I really wanted to say, I really want this to be about we walked away with Thibodeau and the Kobe Dean. In my mind, we already won the draft. And what's more exciting about it is we still have a lot more picks. So I'm already liking this a little bit because Houston's asking us to trade down to 37 from 35. They're only letting us upgrade our pick 108 to 80, but that is 28 spots. Okay? That's almost a full round. Like we're jumping up almost a full round. And all we're doing is going down 2 spots. I don't know who Houston wants, but I see Isaiah Spiller I don't care about. Drake Jackson edge, we already got an edge. Zion Johnson, if they take him at guard, I could live with that, even though I wouldn't be thrilled because he might be the guy I want to grab. I don't know who they're thinking, but there's tons of guys for us. I mean, the tight ends are still further down. Safety is still further down, like Jordan Battle, like the safeties we'll be looking at. That trade offer doesn't hurt us. Arizona wants us to go down to 56 for next year's second. I'm not doing that. Maybe Joe would. Maybe he's more. I want to turn our 108 to an 80. I think that's going to get us a much better player. I think going from 108 to 80, I think is a different level. It's a full round. It's almost a full round. That's a big jump. And we only have to go down 2 spots. I don't mind that because I see a lot of guys I like down there. Like a lot of guys that I pick. So I'm going to say reject. Oh, no, I rejected the wrong one. I wanted to accept that one. There's no way to get it back either. Let me reject this. Can I propose a trade? Who was that? That was the Cardinals, right? Who offered that? 37? I think it was the Cardinals. Where are they? There we go. I want to trade with you. What do we got to do to trade with you? Okay, here we go. No, that was the one we didn't want. Who was the one? Who's the team that just offers the trade? Houston. Thanks. Proposed trade. Let's go to Houston. Hopefully they're going to not turn us down because they might be mad at us. Oh, F you. We're not going to take your trade. Where are you, Houston? All of a sudden, I don't know the icons anymore. There you are. Next. Okay, so we're going to offer us their 67th, and I believe their 80th, right? And they wanted our 35th. Okay, and our 108. I'm going to do the same exact offer. It was accepted. All right, we got it back. Cool. Back to Sims. So there we go. Let's see who they wanted so bad. I'm kind of curious. Resume draft. So Houston took Jermaine Johnson, which didn't hurt us at all. Oh, the Giants took Trey McBride. Those mother effers. The Giants just took Trey McBride. Didn't you hate that? It wasn't Houston that screwed us. It was freaking it was the Giants. Man, I'd be pissed. Okay, well, now that tells us that we have to get our tight ends. We got the next pick anyway, so I'm going to consider these trades. I like this because we get something for next year. We already got our linebacker. There's no one up here I care about that much except Zion Johnson. We didn't get any guard, right? We've done nothing for our offense. But we can get him in the next pick. Yeah, I'm going to accept it. Well, what's the next offer? Wait a second. 55. No way. Dude, I'm a trade guy. I like capital. I like to accumulate draft capital. 38 to 43, I'm not going to do. Not going to do that. 38 to 55, not going to do it. Okay. It's time to pick. I'm going to grab Zion Johnson because he's going to be off the board if we wait any longer. Whereas I still think we can get our tight end that we want. Okay. So, yeah, because there's still tight ends like Ruckert or whatever. So I'm going to take Zion Johnson. Boom, there's our guard. We got 2 picks in a row coming up. Minnesota wants us to go back just 2 picks and give us their 7th. That's bait, man. No way, because you know who they're going to pick, right? They're going to pick Watermeyer if we do that. They need a tight end. They got Chris Herndon they traded for. Like, they need a tight end so desperately. There's no way I'm making that trade with them. So we got the next 2 picks, which to me is beautiful because I'm going to just simply take Watermeyer at tight end. And that discussion for us, I'm going to say no again. Man, New England really wants that. And I'm going to grab Jordan Battle right now and get us our safety. Okay. Let's look at what we've done so far. I'll catch you guys up. I don't know what you said. Don't do it. But TE Battle and maybe linebacker Harris fall. Yeah, I know a lot of people want me to take Harris there. I know he's a beast. But we already took Dean. And I'm being realistic. I don't think that Joe Douglas takes 2 tight ends. He took none last year, 0. He took safeties that he converted, so I just don't see it being realistic. So I don't want to do things that like Joe Douglas would never do. Like, I just know he wouldn't do it. So they want us to trade down way too far. I mean, both are offering us 3rd round picks, Tampa and Green Bay. Both of them are good teams and they're more like early 4th round picks. And they want us to drop down like 24 spots, which is just too costly right now at this point. So at 69, who's there? Well, let's look at who we got. We took care of edge. We took care of linebacker and safety. We're going to have a whole new defense, okay? I can't even speak enough about it. Jordan Battle is no Hamilton, but Jordan Battle is a starting safety who's going to be very good in the league. Watermeyer is a very well-rounded tight end. He's a good blocker. He's a decent receiver. We might grab another tight end later. And then you got Zion Johnson. He's our starting right guard overnight. Boom. So let's look at the centers. That's a good point. We could definitely look at center. There's no one of value there. Now, if you guys wanted another linebacker, I'm just saying Chad Muma is there. I wouldn't completely write off the defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt. I know that's a boring pick and it's an unpopular pick. But realistically, we do need a tackle. Cornerback. Let's look at the cornerbacks. Let's see if any of our guys fell. So the problem with cornerback is there's no value. Then oh no. Ooh, Roger McCreary. We're definitely taking Roger McCreary. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Kyler Gordon is the only guy that is competitive with Roger McCreary back here. And he's gone already. We're at pick 69. Roger McCreary is ranked 59. I think in real life, he's much higher than that. I see McCreary as being early 2nd rounder. We're going to grab Roger McCreary, baby, and get ourselves a great cornerback. I love it. I freaking love it. This is what Bismo was talking about when he likes to look at the possibilities. Because when we read this off later, I never have this kind of draft live usually. This is like shocking me that we're doing so well. So at number 80. Number 80 is, who do we have? We have Thibodeau, Dean, Johnson, Watermeyer, Battle, McCreary. We can pretty much go wide receiver and running back now. We can start looking in that direction because we haven't done that. That's what we neglected. And sitting right on top of the board, great value, is Kyren Williams from Notre Dame. 64th ranked overall. It's the 80th pick. So I'm going to grab him. We're going to grab this running back. Now we have to start looking at wide receivers that slipped and hope that somebody is good value here. I don't see anybody right now. Oh, Khalil Shakir. I don't know him. George Pickens is still there. When do we pick next? 145. He's not going to be there at 145. I'm going to take George Pickens. I don't know why he's so underrated. Oh, Jeffrey Gunter's still there. If Rusty Spooner was here, he'd be going absolutely apeshit. Oh, you're right. We didn't take a center, did we? None of our guys are there. Sorry, I missed on that. So we're going to have to just live with McGovern. I did take a guard. We got Zion. Now, Ruckert is still there. Jeremy Ruckert is still there. So is Charlie Kolar. We could definitely get Charlie Kolar with the next pick. Right? I mean, he's going to take a defensive tackle. I know people don't want to see that happen. I'm telling you, he's going to take a defensive tackle. But I'm going to reach a little. I'm going to reach down. I don't know why he's so far down. We need a wide receiver, guys. Even if we sign someone, we need someone to develop that's young. George Pickens, I don't know why he's so far down. He had an ACL, but he came back from it. So I just don't get why he's so far down. So I'm going to take George Pickens. It's a name people like too. If he doesn't pan out, he doesn't pan out. You got to remember that was already a 4th round pick. Pittsburgh wants to give us a boatload of picks. 177, 191, and 240. But I know you guys would be mad at that because I think we want to take another tight end. So who's there? Tight ends. Oh, he's gone. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. Look who's there. So you guys like Jeremy Ruckert better than Kolar? That's always my thing. I mean, Green Bean got me so sold on Charlie Kolar, but I think he really likes Jeremy Ruckert also. Ohio State, I like that he comes out of Ohio State. Well, Charlie Kolar comes out of Iowa State. I don't know. I'm going to do Jeremy Ruckert. Let's give Zach 2 weapons. Let's give him because if we drop the ball on Pickens and we drop the ball on wide receivers, let's at least let's make sure that one of these tight ends hit. Let's not take a chance that, Weidemeyer is not a good receiver or as good as we thought. Let's make sure that we're going to hit on that. Oh, we have another pick. Okay. We could take Charlie Kolar also. You want to take a 3rd tight end? Who does Green Bean like more? You think that's funny that I'm asking that? Well, we got our tight ends, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Oh, man, they have Charlie Kolar ranked so low. That really concerns me. What do we do? Ali Gay, the edge is still there. If you wanted to get another edge, we could. There's no really value defensive tackles or offensive linemen left. You'd have to really reach down pretty far, and which doesn't seem like worth doing. I mean, it's really just a throwaway pick. I know what you're saying. There's no such thing as a throwaway pick. I'm going to take the best guy I recognize that's not Charlie Kolar, and that's Leo Chenal, the linebacker from Wisconsin. I'm gonna go for him. Take a chance on a center or guard. You can move to. You want me to take a chance on a center now, though? Because we kind of already missed out. So, okay, I'm going to let you guys decide. Do I take the linebacker, Leo Chenal, or Chenal? He's actually very good. Interestingly enough, Leo Chenal is almost completely different mold than Tennessee linebacker Jeremy Banks, while Banks profiles as coverage-oriented linebacker given his size. Chenal is 6'2", 255, thumper, who lives for gritty, low-scoring affairs. He dominated Wisconsin's recent win over Purdue, logging 9 tackles, 5.5 tackles for a loss, and 3.5 sacks with his burst and all-out energy. Chenal is a dangerous blitzer, but he also plays with anticipation and congestion. He knows how to free himself and make those decisive plays. He doesn't sound like our complete guy. He's not a cover guy. But okay, let's just go center. I mean, let's look. Let's look if they have any information on them. Let's look at the highest ranked center. Because you never know. Teams draft real centers late round all the time that turn out to be really good centers in the league. So this guy, Wheeler, is by far the highest ranked center. 205 compared to 267. So let's look. Coming soon. So there's no data on him at all. Let's look at the guy after him. Coming soon. So we have nothing. We're going to just throw a dart. We'll just take him. Just to say we took a center. Okay, now's the fun part. We get to look at what we did. We get to say, what did I do? Guys, after that first round, it's very hard for me to care if people say that, upset or things that, if they don't agree. I'm happy no matter what, because look what we just added. Thibodeau. Now we have a defensive line as long as Carl Lawson comes back okay. Kobe Dean. We got our speedy, fast linebacker that's going to help CJ out. Zion Johnson will step in and be our starting right guard. Jalen Weidemeyer will probably be our tight end one, day one. He might not, but Jordan Battle, starting safety, maybe the best safety on the team, day one, maybe. I like the way Elijah played. And I don't think Ashton Davis was as bad as people think he is, but Jordan Battle's better because he's gonna be good in coverage too. Roger McCreary was the steal of the draft. That's what I say. There's the steal of the draft. If we got Roger McCreary with the 69th pick, that's the third round, right? If we got Roger McCreary in the third round, I would go absolutely apeshit. That is the steal of the draft. Okay, this kid can play. Kyron Williams, Notre Dame running back. Very easily could see him being a very effective running back too, behind Michael Carter. We get to see him all the time play for Notre Dame. He's good. He's a solid running back. George Pickens, I don't know why he's ranked so low. NFL draft tech, I think, has him much, much higher. Early second round, late first round, maybe even. I don't get it. I don't know why he's so far back there, but I every time I watch him, he's good. Jeremy Ruckert at 145. My God, he might be better than. He could end up being better than Wanamaker. It's not impossible, but he definitely gives us an insurance policy. And then we take a chance with Gerard Wheeler, and we get Cleveland's third round pick. The only thing I don't like, I agree B plus, B plus, and you know why? Because the one thing I don't like about this is we didn't get a lot of capital for like next year, and we didn't get enough extra picks. But that happened when we went from 7 to 10. That's what killed us. Seattle winning at the end there really hurt us because it really changed the dynamic of the amount of picks we get. I wouldn't underestimate this draft, though, in the sense that if you told me right now, will you take this draft or would you rather have Joe Douglas go into the draft? I might take this draft because it's very unrealistic. I think Joe Douglas would say yes to this and just skip the whole draft. Really, I think he would. If I told Joe Douglas on the phone, right, the NFL called him up and said, we love the Jets. We want to give them this right now and make this real. Everybody agreed. We're going to give you Thibodeau, Dean, Zion Johnson, Wademeyer, Battle, McCreary, Kyron Williams, George Pickens, Jeremy Ruckert. And a third round pick next year from Cleveland, and we're going to throw in a center that we don't even know anything about. You honestly think Joe Douglas is going to turn that down? There's no way. There's no way, because I'm telling you, they're going to update these, and by the time we get to the draft, we will never get this. I mean, and I don't want to be negative. I'm just saying, realistically, I don't believe this. I don't believe there's any way we would really get this. So anybody who says I wouldn't do this, I think it's like, think about it really hard, because there's a really good chance guys like Battle and McCreary are going to be gone. And we're not going to be getting this level of players. McCreary at 69, that is crazy. Let me see if I can click on him and get the information on this kid. He's been a starting corner for the Tigers since 2019, which means we know him. Tons of tape. His experience, ball production, 6 career interceptions, 23 pass deflections. Route recognition will leave any DB coach salivating. McCreary doesn't possess any elite physical attributes, though he doesn't severely lack in any one area either. As one of the most battle-tested quarterbacks in the SEC, McCreary should have no issue finding a home in April. And that's from one guy. There are a lot of guys in Jets world that watched him because they're LSU fans. A lot of LSU people that are Jet fans are going crazy right now for him. So, yeah, I like it too, Bismo. Anyway, now it is getting late. It's 9:30 here. That's late for me because I got to get up at 4:30. set up a cafeteria. Don't even ask. So thanks for hanging out, guys. It was cool. It was cool. Cool. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Mañana. Like I said, I always do a mock draft on Friday nights. Night, everybody. Oh, what do I do? Oh, I don't just shut off. I always do this first. Stop share. You're all waiting in anticipation. A 1-15 team takes a running back. You just took your franchise quarterback. You had a running back. And I'd be pissed if I was a Jacksonville fan. I love that, talking about Green Bay. He'll never find out. Believe me, nobody knows better what it looks like when an organization is about to go to shit than a New York Jet fan. And Justin Fields proved that he can hold it together. He can regroup. It's okay if he struggles. And we got a big game against the Eagles, and maybe you need some energy, so wake up! We have every right to expect the Jets to win. Rich Cimini, schmuck, putz,